Hello and welcome back to Talk About Strange. Thank you for joining me here today. I've got a really important message that I want to share with you. It's one that we've been waiting for. I think the ominous title probably tells you a lot. I mean, maybe it's not so ominous, but I think what you're looking for is right in the title. And this is something that has been really concerning to me for the past month. What's been going on, and I can finally share with you the information and what happened. Claire gave me that permission and sent a message to us to be shared. So I wanted to get right on here and share it with you. Just by the way, you guys probably noticed I got a couple of videos up this past week. Finally, it was great to be back and to share a couple things. But just so you know, right after our live show, what was it, Monday, Tuesday, I ended up going to Life Care for this cold. It got into my chest. It got really, really bad. I'm still dealing with it. So I'm going to try my best to work my way through this. I don't know if you could tell on the camera here, but I got a pretty good case of fish eye from coughing so hard. And so this has been special. It's been a lot of fun to get through. It set me back again, but that's all right. We're going to keep rocking and rolling here. I'm going to get this shared with you guys. And don't forget, Sunday, we got the live show. So you guys join me here Sunday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we can talk about all this and a lot of other things that we discuss. It's our big TAS friends and family. We all get together and share information, and people call in and share some stories with us and stuff. I think it's going to be a big Sunday. Last Sunday was the biggest crowd of people that we've had so far. We've had a big uptick on the channel over Clair. And so, and this goes right along with that, fortunately and unfortunately. So, but anyway, I just want to get right to it and share it with you. So let's get going here. All right. And then we can talk about it more Sunday. Dear Steve, hello, it's Claire. First and foremost, I'm sorry if any of this has frightened or placed you in any unnecessary danger. My husband told me that he reached out to you in real time as all this was happening. Steve, please let me know if at any time you feel the need to end our dialogue together. The last thing I want is to put you and your family in any kind of danger, even though we have taken every precaution to only share information that can be shared publicly, but apparently that wasn't enough for someone. As you know now, one of my worst nightmares has come true. Fortunately, we are all safe and back where we belong. With that said, I'll leave it up to you to choose whether or not to share this message with our TAS family. Claire, I am absolutely going to share this message with our TAS friends and family. I don't feel like you've put me in any kind of danger. I know there's a lot going on out there. I spoke recently that I believe my computer was hacked, and this kind of makes sense because I'm wondering if it has something to do with that. And we have seen some strange vehicles around occasionally, but I believe if they were going to do anything, they would have. And I'm fairly well protected, so don't even worry about it. Take care of yourself and your people over there. We will be fine over here. Trust me. Anyway, let me move on. So, but know this, I am pissed. I bet she is. I don't appreciate being drug off against my will. I definitely don't like being mentally and physically violated over the course of what turned out to be 3 weeks. Look, I understand there's an element of danger and risk with what we do as a team, especially for me. I know and fully expected what happened to me to be a whole hell of a lot worse, and for that I am thankful. But it doesn't change the fact that it was wrong, and it was perfect. And to be perfectly honest, it was terrifying. According to your recent videos, you haven't shared anything other than something important is coming soon. So here it is. I'm titling this message to you, the M.I.B. It's almost funny when you think about how many people don't believe in things like vampires, wolfmen, aliens, or Bigfoot. I wonder how many of them believe in the men in black. I'm not referring to the government ones, no. I'm talking about the same kind of men and women that you see in Hollywood, like movies, like the movie, The Men in Black film. I can honestly say, as crazy as it may sound, I personally wasn't a believer myself, but I am now. Just a little over a month ago, we were on our way to meet with a woman that lived along the great Mississippi River. She claimed to be the mother of a Klansman hybrid male that ran off scared and confused. She wanted us to help her find him. I asked how she found us, and she said through a friend of my mother's. As a rule, we don't go out on wild goose chases without extreme due diligence. But she had a very compelling backstory, and we didn't have time to figure that out. Besides, it was only a couple of states away from where we were working. Fortunately, my husband and kids were home. It was just my stepfather, a few members of the team. I never told this woman where we were coming from, what time or direction that we would be traveling, but somehow someone must have known. I say that because as soon as we crossed into Mississippi, I got the feeling that we were being followed. So I told my stepfather to keep his eyes peeled, and he suggested that we skip this one and head straight home. Unfortunately, I didn't even get a chance to make that decision. Just as it was getting dark, what looked like a black DOT vehicle passed us and proceeded to pull over our lead car. Then another pulled over our follow car, and finally two of them pulled us over. I remember seeing a man walking up to my father's window on the drive side and seeing someone approaching on my side as well. My stepfather already had the window down, so turned and asked if everything was okay. The man replied, yes, just a routine check. Then as soon as he looked at me, he smiled and sprayed some sort of an aerosol at us. Wow. Holy crap. I was holding my phone in my hand with my finger over the send button when it happened. I must have pressed it before I passed out because the alert was sent. We use a simple group of text as an alert system. Just to name a few, a slice of pizza emoji means it's lunchtime, let's eat. Skull and crossbones means danger, retreat, regroup. And a smile face with sunglasses means men in black, I'm in trouble. My mother made some friends in high places and some low places as well. Everyone knew what to do and who to contact, God forbid, if this alert was ever used. You were on that list, Steve. She knew there wasn't much you'd be able to do to help us, but she wanted you to know if something ever went sideways anyway. That's why my husband contacted you. Whatever it was, they sprayed into the van. It was strong. I believe I remember coming around a couple of times. I swear at some point we were even in an airplane and then someplace really cold. If I had to guess, I think they took us someplace in the Arctic. Wow. A black site of sort. Now, see, we've talked about that. I heard about that before somewhere. I've heard about something about that a possibility of that. Interesting. For all the skeptics that might be hearing this, trust me, I can only imagine how ridiculous it must sound. So I warn you now, it's only going to get crazier from here. When I woke up, I was laying in a medical bed in a large white room. I know that sounds cliche, but it was just like you would imagine in a medical viewing room would look like. 4 walls, but with no visible plug outlets or light switches. The entire ceiling was smooth frosted glass with light shining through, and the floor looked like large marble tiles. 2 of the walls had large black viewing windows, one on each side of me. I had a thin white blanket covering me and very stiff pillow under my head. When I sat up, I was slightly lightheaded. Then noticed that I had an IV in my arm and some heart and pulse monitoring electrodes connected under the hospital gown someone had put on me. When I reached over to remove the IV, a woman's voice said, "Stop. Please consider leaving the IV in just a little longer. We took a lot of blood and fluids. Oh, and the fluids will help you recuperate faster." Oh, man. Wow. I let go and asked her, "Where am I? What did you do to me? And where's my father?" She replied that everyone was okay and that I would be able to see them soon. So I asked again, "Why are we here? Who are you? And what did you do to me?" For the sake of this message, I am going to use my pen name, but this woman used my actual name. Not the name that I have on my ID, my actual birth name. So I responded, let me see. So she responded, "You don't know us, but we know you. Your name is Clair, and we knew your mother as well. I asked her how she knew me and why. She said, we have been watching you grow from the time you were born. We know who you are and how special you are. I quickly figured out that if they kidnapped me, they probably knew a lot about me. I told her that she needed to let me and my people go now, that there's going to be a lot of people looking for us and there will be trouble. She instructed me to look to my left. I turned and the black glass turned clear. I seen my stepfather walking past the glass window. So I removed the IV in order to get a closer look. He was in with the rest of my team. The room looked more like a lounge area in a hotel than a surgical room like mine. There was a sofa, a couple of chairs, TV, a coffee maker, and etc. What I'm getting at is that they looked comfortable. With the exception of my stepfather, he looked very upset. I called out his name, but he couldn't hear me. So I banged on the glass, but he still couldn't hear me. The woman came back on and said, please don't bang on the glass. They can't hear you and you could hurt yourself. Then the glass went black again. I asked again, why are we here? You need to let us go now. She only replied that I needed to rest and that we would talk more later. I screamed at her and said, no, let us out. I went for the door, but it was solid steel sheet door with no doorknob. Then the lights dimmed low. I walked back and forth for what seemed like hours. Eventually, I did lay down and ended up falling asleep. I don't know how long I was out, but when I came to, I was in a different room and I was wearing my own clothes again. This room looked more like a hotel bedroom with a bed, desk, even a mini refrigerator with water in it. But again, the door didn't have a knob, and instead of a TV, there was another big glass window. There was a bathroom with a toilet, shower, sink, soap, even a mirror, toothbrush, toothpaste, hair dryer, and brush. I got a really bad feeling that I was going to be there a while. My only comfort was that I didn't wake up on a table, all chopped up and being experimented on, for real. Yeah, for real. I called out and said, hello, is anyone there? I didn't get an answer right away, so I continued to look around for a way to escape. But there was nothing, and I couldn't even budge the door a tiny bit. Eventually, the black glass window turned clear again. I looked in and seen my stepfather and our team. This time, it appeared that I was looking from the other side or the other direction on the opposite side of the room. This time, my father was sitting with his head down, but everyone looked okay. I knocked on the glass, but to no surprise, they couldn't hear me still. Then it turned black again. I hollered, hello, I know you are there. The woman's voice came on and said, I'd like to come in and talk to you. Would that be okay? Of course, I said, yes, please do. She said, I understand that you are upset, but I have to warn you now, if you try to hurt me or escape, it will not work out well for you or your people. Do you understand? If I'm being honest, the thought of using her to get out had crossed my mind, but if she was right, I would be jeopardizing everyone else, and so I agreed. Then the steel door slid open with very little sound. There stood a woman about the same age as my mother would be, maybe just a little older. She was wearing a white short-sleeved medical coat over a lavender-colored blouse and white slacks. She looked to be about 6 foot tall, thin, and had shoulder-length, dirty blonde hair and blue eyes. She was wearing glasses that were slightly too big for her face. You could tell right away that she was someone in charge. Behind her stood a man and a woman holding what looked like high-powered guns, and you might have guessed by now they were wearing black coats, black ties, white shirts, black pants, and shoes. Yes, black sunglasses. They looked very serious and not like somebody you'd want to mess with. She looked up at me and smiled. They had no expression at all. She asked if she could come in, and I stepped back away from the door. She walked in, and to my surprise, they stayed in the hallway. The door slid shut as she walked past me and sat in the chair next to the desk. Then with her hand invited me to sit on the bed in front of her. I really didn't want to, but I wanted whatever this was to be over with. She didn't seem at all intimidated by me or my size compared to her, or she hid it very well. Normally I can sense people's emotions, but I couldn't even begin to get a read on her, other than her confident demeanor. As soon as I started to ask her why we were being held against our will, she interrupted me and said, I am very sorry to hear your loss or about the loss of your mother, Wendy. Your mother was an incredible woman. I asked what she knew about my mother. She said, I knew what happened to your mother on the island. We have always known and have been watching over you and your mother from the very time that you were born. I asked her how and why. Again, she responded, Claire, isn't it obvious? For the same reason that you and your mother have been searching for and looking after others like yourself. Only we have been doing it for decades longer. Some even say centuries. Claire, we are on the same side. I said, no, we are not. I don't go around kidnapping people and experimenting on them against their will. True that. She asked if I would have come willingly. I said, I don't know. Maybe you should have asked first. So what did you do to me? She responded with, I know you're upset, but trust me, we didn't do anything that would hurt you in any serious way. We simply drew blood, gathered some hair and tissue samples. And I said, what else? And she said, we took measurements, x-rays, ultrasound, checked your bone density, just simple items for our records. I asked again sternly, what else? I know you did more to me. I can feel it. She agreed and said, yes, we gathered some culture tests as well. I told her that they had absolutely no right to violate me like that. She raised her hand as I was growing angry and said, Claire, you are right. I am very sorry for what we had to do like this. But you have to understand that you are very special. Everything that we are doing is for your own good and good of others like you. Says you, right? Wow. Wait. Okay, this is Claire. Wait, how many others? I asked. How many do you know about? How many are here now? She said, there are others like you, but you already knew that. I asked again, how many do you have here now? She said, none, just you. I didn't believe her, but I couldn't sense anyone else nearby me. I believe they were somehow blocking my ability to telepathically communicate because there was an odd ringing in my ears that I've only noticed a couple of times in my life. I looked at her in the eyes and asked, are you going to let me go or am I trapped here as a lab rat? What's going to happen to me and my people? Using my stepfather's real name, she said that he and the team are being taken very good care of, and yes, you will be going home soon. Okay. Then she went on to ask me a lot of questions over what felt like hours, most of which I was sure she already knew the answers. Others I refused to answer, and some I was looking for answers to as well. Okay. When it was over, she asked if I was hungry. I was very hungry, so I said yes. She smiled and said, I'll have something for you straight away. Then she walked to the door and it opened automatically. Soon after she walked out, the black glass turned clear again. I looked in and saw my stepfather and the others. They were eating sandwiches with chips and drinks. As upset as I was, it gave me some hope that we would be okay, but I wasn't letting my guard down that it might still turn out to be for the worse. Moments later, the door slid open and one of the very ominous M.I.Bs rolled a hotel-style cart in and stepped back out. There was a plastic dome over the food. Inside was a ham and turkey sandwich with lettuce, tomato, bacon, and mayo. Go figure, my exact go-to lunch. Down to the mayo and no onions. A bag of Sun Chips and a Diet Pepsi. Someone did their homework. While it was just what I needed, it all seemed a little bit too on the nose. Before eating, I looked through the glass again. Two of them were still eating, and my stepfather was seemingly taking a nap, but otherwise looked okay. So I sat on the bed and ate my sandwich. Here we go. When I woke up, things got even stranger yet. When more, even to my surprise, I was sitting in the passenger seat of our research van, and my stepfather was kicked back in the driver's side seat, still asleep. I looked forward, and our lead vehicle was in front of us, and the follow vehicle was behind us. From what I could tell, it looked like they were just starting to wake up as well. I gave my stepfather a little shake and said his name. He jumped a little and opened his eyes. I asked him if he was okay, and he looked around and said, yeah, are you? He seemed just as confused as me. He asked what happened. How did we get here? I said, I don't know. I don't even know where we are, but it looked very familiar. He pointed to the sign ahead and said, we're back home. I looked and he was right. We were only about 8 to 10 miles from our home. We got out and checked on the others. Everyone was fine, but just confused as us. Everyone was aware that we had been taken, but none of us knew yet how long we had been gone or where we had been taken to, and how we ended up back in our vehicles over 2,000 miles from where we had been taken. We had all of our stuff, including our phones. I immediately called my husband and let him know that we are all okay. Poor guy was worried, sick, and ready to call in a cavalry. You might be wondering why he didn't. It's like I said, we know there are risks in what we do. We have a set of protocols that we follow. One is that if I go missing, give it 3 weeks, because sometimes we go dark for close to that. If I don't turn up at the end of the 3rd week, on the very next day, send the rest of the cavalry. In short, go public. However, there are several highly trained individuals that were informed immediately. Fortunately, not only was we returned on the last day of the 3rd week, we was returned just miles from our home. The very next day, we all met up at the office and started looking into whatever they had done to me. An x-ray revealed that what appeared to be a small chip or tracking device embedded in my right side hip bone. Oh. I was going to have it removed, but decided to wait just a while. Everything else appeared to be normal. I'm waiting because I have a message for them. I know that you are going to see this message if it is posted. To them, find me. I have questions that I want answered. No need to kidnap me. Just find me, or I'm going to find you. Also, leave my family and friends alone. Don't ever do what you did again. I'm leaving the tracker in. I'll be waiting. Oh, boy. Woo. I wouldn't want to be the one to find her. Jeez. Steve, again, I'm so sorry if I put you at risk. I want you to know that I will be going dark for a while until I figure all this out. About our earlier conversation, yes, someday I will come forward as promised, but not until I know that my family is safe. Until then, I am going completely off grid. I don't know how long, but by the time this message reaches you, the M.I.B will be the only ones that know where to find me. To our TAS friends and family, thank you all for your love and support you have given us. Oh, thank you for all the love and support you have given us. I promise you that everything is going to be fine. If they were going to hurt me, they would have. I don't believe they are bad people, maybe a little misguided, laugh out loud. Look, I know you all want answers. I do as well. Just know that they are coming. Be patient. One day, all this will just be common knowledge. Be well, and thank you for all that you have done for us. Best wishes, Claire. Wow. Wow. There you go, guys. What a trip. I personally believe there's some sort of a Men in Black out there. I mean, I guess I always thought, yeah, feds or something like that. Nothing. Well, sure, there's got to be people outside of the government that do some stuff like this. But wow, like you just don't really expect it, right? Claire, Claire, anyone in the family, any of you do watch this, I'm sure you will at some point somehow. I'm so glad that you got back safely. Thank you so very much for doing this follow up with us and letting us know and letting me know what's going on. I mean, I was literally just honestly crapping my pants. I mean, since I heard, because God only knows what could have happened to you. I fully expected, and we all did, we fully expected if you were ever captured that you'd never be seen or heard from again. And so I'm really just surprised. Who were these people? Did you see anything? Did they give you any other, the first thing that comes to my mind is like guardians or watchers. Like, who are these people? Who are you people? Like, I don't know if you can let me know somehow. If that's too far, don't. but what the hell? Like, and what's going on out there? Anyway, wow. You guys, we've been waiting for this. Thanks for watching. We could talk about this more tomorrow night on the live show. I'm sure we will be. Again, Claire, no worries on my end. I appreciate you. I just want you and your team all to be safe and do what you got to do. Do you? We'll wait patiently until we hear from you again. I hope it's soon, but I completely get it. And yeah, wow, just wow. I mean, that's about all I can say about that. I know there's people out there that do what I do that have a lot more knowledge in all of this and might know something more about that. That's a question, you guys. I know some of you guys are going to watch this. Do you know anything about this M.I.B, these people, who they are, what they're doing? Don't be afraid to shoot me an email or something, or contact me. Come on the live show if you want to, and just kind of let me know what you know. I would love to hear about it. Anyway, that's all I got for now. I am so glad that I made it through there. Man, I'm on all kinds of medicines. Excuse me. I'm holding it down. So, thanks again, you guys. I'll see you again really soon. And I promise I'll keep you posted on any updates that I get. So, I'll bring it straight to you as soon as I get it. But all right, let's keep going. I'll see you again soon.